Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa Ely and today I'm actually talking to you at the same time that I am filming my hands, which I don't usually do with art videos, but since this is an unboxing and me trying something new, I wanted to kind of tell you about my experience as I did it rather than in the past tense. So to get started, I got this for Christmas. It is from Tuesday Morning, which is a local place, what's it called? A discount store where they get overstocked stuff that other stores haven't been able to sell. So they get quite fancy stuff for not too expensive. And so that's why I have this. And now we're gonna open it. Finally, I've been saving this for a video and I very much wanted to open it before, but now it won't open. Let me see what is sealing it on this side. Okay, there we go. I really like the packaging. Is also another reason I left it in the box, because no point in an unboxing when the packaging isn't pretty. Now, what's this? Got a very cute little seal in it. I love wax seals. They're so cool. Oh, it's a certificate. How cool. Now, I think to get this out I have to lift out the whole thing. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I can just pull it. Oh, there we go. I love silly colored feather pens. I just think they're really cool. I used to have one. I used to have lots of things before the fire, and now I'm just replacing them slowly. In preparation for this video, I looked up a couple of calligraphy and dip pen tutorials, so I think this is how you're supposed to hold it and write like this. And then I should be able to switch, there we go, switch out the nibs. And the tutorials I've seen used this type and maybe this type, but I did not see any tutorials with either this type or this type, so I'll just have to experiment with them. But from what I learned, these two similar looking ones are used for normal handwriting, and there are other nibs that have sort of flat fronts that are used for making, you know, those calligraphy things with the really thick lines interspersed with the thin ones. So I wonder what these nibs will do, but some of them are harder to get in than others, but it might just be my ineptitude that I'm not putting them in correctly. That one does not want to go in. Well, put that to the side for a moment, and we'll get out the ink, which had sticky stuff on the bottom to keep it in, but I love this holder. It's so cool looking, with this seal looking top, what looks like a scroll and a feather quill on top, and it's Piazza San Leonardo green ink 21. Green ink, I love green ink. It and red ink I think are my favorite India ink type inks. So let's get this off of here so it doesn't damage my wood when I put it down. Yes, that's everything in there. Put this away. Very big packaging, so I don't think I'll keep that because that will take up a lot of space. I'll just store these separately. And then this is watercolor paper. It is the cheaper variety of my watercolor paper, which is this kind, Seth Cole watercolor. It's 140 pound weight, which is the highest weight and it's supposed to be good quality, but it's, for some reason, it's cheaper, and I've definitely noticed that water acts differently on this than on my expensive paper that is also referred to as 140 pound weight, and it's less textured. And I picked this one because I read online that you want less textured for your calligraphy inks, because if it's textured it will catch and then it'll mess up what you're doing. But you also want thick paper, not like printer paper, because you need something that will absorb as much liquid as you're going to use. So if I can figure out how to use this as well, I will use it, but it has a little droppy, so I might have to put it into a separate reservoir to use that. But first we will try using this ink, and I'm going to try out all the different types of nibs, and I'm going to try to practice some calligraphy-ish stuff, starting with regular handwriting. And I think I'm going to rest it there, so maybe if it spills a little, it won't spill on my desk. For background, my normal handwriting is cursive. I just learned it in 3rd grade and then never stopped using it. I use it for taking notes or anything that I want to write down. I write it in cursive because it's much more efficient. I can write a lot faster that way. And usually I write neat enough for people to be able to read it, but sometimes it can be a bit messy, so I still struggle to write neat cursive and pretty cursive, and calligraphy, of course, is a whole nother level, but at least cursive I have down. Okay. Not very neat. I can tell that it's spreading out a little bit once I put it down, which might be because it's watercolor paper and it's absorbing differently rather than letting it sit on top, so it looks very wavy and very uneven. That's interesting. I'll try it. If this paper seems to be wonky with it, I will try out some other types of paper like my marker paper. That might work, although it is very thin. So let's continue trying this. There, that's how long it apparently takes to run out. This is reminding me of a book. What's that book? The book I raved about, Heart's Blood, because the main character is a scribe and she lines her paper before with little thin charcoal marks or pencil marks, the equivalent of a pencil. And that way her lines are a little neater than what mine are. Trying to dip back in the ink before it runs out so that I don't have the fading look and it looks like it's all the same amount of ink. Alright, that looks like a good test of that pen. Now, apparently I'm supposed to do this, which makes sense. Otherwise it will stain whatever I put it on, and then I can change. I don't know if this will be any different, but we'll do it next to the other one so it'll be easiest to compare. There's no ink in that reservoir, is there? No. Let's try that again. Alright. That appears to be pretty much the same. It might be because on the videos I saw, it said that these type do wear down, so it might be I was given an extra one so that when one wears out, I'll have another one, because these would be the most used since they're for regular handwriting. So let's try one of the weird ones and see what happens. Now obviously if I use them incorrectly, we won't get to see what they're actually supposed to do, but I will do my best. And then, if I really don't think I know what I'm doing, I'll look up a video to try to find the specific tip. Oh my, what on earth am I going to do with that? Now I've forgotten how to make an uppercase G. Not like that. Ah. This seems to hold its ink longer. I have no idea. Let me try a few lines. Definitely not that. Maybe this is meant for long continuous lines without running out of ink. Let me see if I can add some flourishes to these. You can tell I know nothing about flourishes. Let's try the last one. Although, the unifying factor seems to be that they all have the ending that's the same. It's just this farther up bit that's different. So maybe it's simply a stylistic choice rather than actually something that makes the writing different. Seems odd that it runs out of ink before the reservoir is even empty. It's much more difficult to control ink flow with this tip. Alright, I'm gonna watch some more videos and I'll get back to you. I looked up some more videos about calligraphy online and I learned some more about tips. I could not find the purpose of the other two tips, but I also looked up more on how flourishes work. And so this is me practicing flourishes on one of the quotes that I used to have on my quote wall, and that is from a hymn, and right now I can't remember what hymn it was, but it goes, "Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease." That one. And still not that great at flourishes, but I felt like I was kind of moving more in the right direction and trying to get things that looked kind of regular and like each other. And so then I went to try out my other ink, my red ink, because as I was looking at more videos, I saw that it was actually sometimes better to drip the ink onto your pen rather than to dip it. And so I tried that, and it didn't fill up the little reservoir, the little blank space in the middle of the dip pen, so I wasn't sure about that. And then I tried to write with it, and all the ink came out in that big blob you can see of red at the top. So there was none left to write something with, so I gave up trying to use the red ink with my dip pen, at least for now, because I also wanted to try using some inks with a brush pen, because that is how other calligraphy is done. You can do it with a brush. And I dripped some drips on it, and it was alright. I definitely didn't have very good control over the ink, so definitely next time I try this ink I will put it into a little well, and also next time I will thin it, because I remembered as I was washing out this brush that all the people I'd seen paint with ink had thinned it first. Now, they didn't talk about that with the writing calligraphy inks, but I think it would have been a good idea because it took absolutely forever to get the ink out of this brush. I will do it differently in the future. And so then I decided to do a little calligraphy with something I could control well and felt comfortable with, being a regular pen or marker, in this case one of my paint markers. And so I did a couple more quotes from my quote wall. By the way, I Can Do This All Day is from Captain America. Kim Saw Made It Awkward is just a internet reference. Why Don't We Hold Hands on the Way Down is from West Wing. It's a romantic thing. Those have been my misadventures in calligraphy, and thank you so much for watching. See you next video. Bye!